Well, here I am. Man, we have, what is it, April 10th, April 11th today. And gotta love North Pole, Alaska. Man, April 11th, and we're in a blizzard. It's been snowing all day. We've got 2.5, almost 3 inches of snow on the ground. Yippee. Happy second winter to all of us Alaskans, I suppose. Unreal. I don't know what's going on, but it seems like the winters are just getting longer and longer. Now we're getting into, May before we end up having, nice weather. I'm sick of snow and ice, man. I want to go fishing. I want to do things that I need better weather for. This is unreal. Anyway, so I figured I would get on here. Wanted to talk about a few things. I figured if anybody has, yeah, Abel, a freaking blizzard, dude. Unreal, right? It's been just snowing like crazy all day. And I'm a truck driver, so it's like it gets kind of stressful driving in that kind of crap when you can't see, and more importantly, you're worried about other people seeing you. That's the scary part, you know. But got through the day, and now I'm sitting here at my desk, and I'm just everything's coming down now, and I'm exhausted. Yeah, snow in the middle of April, unreal. This is when it's supposed to be almost all melting away, and we had some nice weather for a few couple weeks, and I figured, oh man, we're gonna have some spring action coming, and then it just got cold again, and it's been snowing today, and it snowed a couple days ago, a couple inches. It's just stupid, man. Whew, man, yeah. My my mother is living down. My mother and father both live down there in Texas right now, and they get that 90 plus degree weather around this time of year too, and they hate it. They don't want to live up here either, though. They don't want to deal with the cold anymore. They're moving to Tennessee this summer, so I'm not sure if that's going to help much with the heat. It's pretty hot there too, but I just need to relax. I just need to chill. I need to go fishing is what I need to do. I tie my own flies, and all winter that's what I do. I sit at my fly tying desk, which is, I don't know if you can see it right there, that desk, and I tie all my flies for fly fishing all winter. And then by the summer, I have everything I need for the entire summer and fall for fishing. Well, I'm done. I'm ready to fish, dude. Like I'm sick of this. I'm over the cold weather. I'm done. Man, I got nothing to look forward to for basketball because my Phoenix Suns are absolute trash this year, and it would have been better off not watching them play. It was horrible all year. So I don't have that to look forward to. I don't have hockey to look forward to. I haven't had that all year because my team, the Phoenix Coyotes, decided to get uprooted and moved and sold to Utah. So it's one of those years for sports for me. I'm not too happy with anything. And baseball is going, and I'm happy about that. I get to watch my Diamondbacks. That's good. All my teams are in Arizona since that's where I'm originally from. The only team that's not Arizona is these Miami Dolphins. All because when I was 3 years old, I saw their helmets on TV, and I told my dad I thought they were pretty. And then began the curse. So here I am, 39 years later. 39 years later, still a Dolphins fan. It's the only team that I like that's outside of Arizona. Good times. But now that I'm here, and now that I the Coyotes got moved. They got sold. They sold them to Salt Lake City. Um, just stupid. Yeah, Dan Marino tricked me totally. The game I was watching, I remember it was what game it, well, I don't remember the like all the ins and outs of the game, but the Dolphins were playing the Colts. And that was it was Dan Marino. It was 1985 or 86. So I might have been 4 years old. One of the two. I could barely talk, and I thought their helmets were amazing. And that was it for me. It was over. Just lame. It's not like I regret it. I mean, I'm happy that I'm a Dolphins fan. I love the team. Couldn't really imagine being a fan of any other team. So, whatever. It's hard being a Dolphins fan. All you Dolphins fans, you guys understand. You know. Definitely not an easy thing. But I wanted to run this by you, Abel. I had a thought about this the other day, and I kind of can't stop thinking about it. It happened with all this Tyreek stuff. When all this Tyreek stuff started, I was thinking, it would be so Dolphins for the Dolphins just to straight up cut him and eat $50 million in cap space and dead cap combined. It would be so Dolphins to do that. And the sad part is I couldn't really say that I would be upset with Miami for doing it just because the motivation to stop the circus. That'd be understandable if they did that. That's what I would tell myself. That's the reason if they decided to cut Dan Marino. Now you got me thinking about Dan Marino. If they decided to cut Tyreek Hill. But I started thinking, well, what would happen if we did? What would it look like if we cut Tyreek Hill or traded him? And what would we do for the team going into the season? And I just thought, man, it would be really cool if that happened. It wouldn't be ideal because we all know what that would do to the team for the next year too, with money. But I thought it would be really cool if they took that opportunity to try something out. And wouldn't it be cool if they decided to slide? This is going to sound weird, but what if they slid Achane into the slot as a slot receiver, started Jalen Wright as our running back? Now, granted, this would involve having to get a whole bunch more depth because we would need more depth at running back if we did that because we would put Achane at wide receiver. So we'd have to, add some more players. But that would almost, seems to me at least, that would almost be kind of cool to see. To see Achane at the slot, Waddle at one receiver, and Ikine at the other. Depending on whatever, it didn't really matter who's one or two. I mean, the defenses would almost decide who's one or two in some ways. But if we had Ikine and Waddle at 1 and 2, and then we had Achane in the slot with Wright as our halfback, that would be kind of cool. I'd want to see that. Achane is a very gifted receiver, obviously, and he could definitely. I mean, every time he ends up in the slot playing as a receiver, he does amazing things. He's got great hands. He knows how to run routes. He does it well enough to be considered a wide receiver. I kind of want to see it. I wonder if they would do something like that if they ended up trading away Tyreek Hill. Because, I mean, they're not going to cut him. That would be absolutely moronic. If I had it my way, I probably wouldn't cut him either. And I wouldn't trade him either. I would do all that next year when the money makes more sense. I would keep him this year, and I would just play the crap out of him as long as he kept his attitude straight. And the second that he started popping off, just bench him. But I wouldn't cut him. I wouldn't trade him. I almost, and I'm sitting here thinking, the NFL is going to do something. I mean, they're investigating, so they might not do anything. I know a lot of people don't expect the NFL to do anything, but when is the NFL not taking action against the Miami Dolphins? Yeah, that's what. Yeah, sit them on the bench. But when is the NFL not taking action against the Miami Dolphins? They always take the opportunity to make an example out of Miami. And in a situation like this, it has nothing to do with the team itself. But I feel like they're still going to come in here and be like, oh, Tyreek Hill suspended for 3 games to start the season. And like I said, that would definitely get Tyreek's attention if they benched him. Um, but it would definitely affect Miami. And that's why I don't think that action from the league is very warranted right now, just because the team doesn't deserve to be punished for it. But I feel like Tyreek Hill does. But at this point, benching Tyreek Hill for the first 3 games of the season, unless Miami did it themselves, I just don't think that would be very. I don't think that would be very, very righteous on behalf of the league. I think if something was going to happen, I think that the league should at least have the decency to go to the front office of the Miami Dolphins and say, look, this keeps happening. You know, he got sued by the plus size model. He slapped the boat captain. I mean, these are things. This stuff seems like it should be episodes of a sitcom. This stuff that's happening, not so much the incident, this last incident with his wife and his kid, but the other stuff, slapping a boat captain. What a perfect start for a sitcom. Um, tackling a plus size model and getting sued. I mean, this stuff is like this belongs on Seinfeld, not not the NFL. This belongs on a show about nothing. I couldn't make this crap up if I tried. I'm just not sure how to feel about all this. I made that live stream on Wednesday night, late Wednesday night. Like nobody was even alive. It was like 2 a.m. Eastern. And I just got home from my responsibilities, and I had to say something, because that earlier that day I released a video, and then like 7 or 8 minutes after I uploaded it, everybody finds out about this stuff with Tyreek, and I'm like, man, every time I make a freaking video, I have to go make another one because something else happens immediately. I think the rest of the off season, if I get bored and I start thinking, man, I wish I had something to make a video about, I'm just gonna make a video about nothing. I'll just sit here for like 6 minutes, upload the video, and then like within a few minutes, I'm sure something will happen. I mean, every single time. That's like the 6th time this off season that something has happened as soon as I've made a video. Most of the other times it was I've made a video about certain acquisitions during a couple days, and then as soon as I do it, we sign another player, and it's like, well, geez, I guess now I have to make a short or something. Because I mean, I know I'm a small channel, but I really, really, really like to try hard to at least make notes of everything, developmental with the team, everything that happens. I like to try to be on top of developments, and it's hard. That's one thing I didn't really think about. I didn't think about how hard this was going to be. Trying to keep up with everything that's happening and release the news and the information as fast as I can get it, because that is a trick. It's definitely something that I have a lot of respect for a lot of these YouTubers after doing this for a while. And speaking of which, I am at almost 10 months doing this. 10 months, really. I mean, there are a couple months before this, I would be at a year, but not really, because the game that we played in Kansas City a couple years ago, or not last season, but the season before, we played in Kansas City and we lost that playoff game. That night, I made my very first Dolphins YouTube video. It was interesting. I shot it on my cell phone. It was horrible. But then I stopped making videos. That one and another one I made. Those were my first 2, but those don't really count because I wasn't trying. I was just wanting to put something on the internet to see if anybody would see it. That was all that was. Since I've been trying to make an actual channel and do this, it's been almost 10 months. I'm almost at a year. Oh, boy. But we got a lot of things happening here coming up. We got the draft very shortly coming up, and then right after that, we have the schedule release, and that I'm excited for. There's been some reports of who are going to be playing in that game in Spain, And Spain is awesome. I don't know if anybody's ever had a chance to go there, then you know what I'm talking about. But Spain is amazing. And the cool thing about Spain that I had no idea about until I went there, Spain has one of the largest followings of Miami Dolphins fans I have ever seen outside of the United States, or even in the United States. I've never been to Miami, except for at the airport. So, I, yeah, I stopped there for like 30 minutes one time on my way to uh, the Dominican Republic. That's the longest I've spent in Miami. But when I went to Spain years ago, there was so many Dolphins fans, and I thought it was like the coolest thing ever. I was like, holy crap! I'm from North Pole, Alaska, guys. There's no Dolphins fans up here. Maybe one or two in the entire time that I've been here that I've ran into. It's unreal. So when I went to Spain and just saw it Dolphin stuff, if I didn't know where I was, I would have guessed that I had to have been in Florida. It was unreal. So I'm really happy for the guys and gals that are living in Spain that get to go see this game, because there's a big following of Dolphins fans there. So if we have a game there like we're supposed to, Dolphins are going to have a packed stadium. There's going to be a lot of Dolphins fans there. And the rumor is that we're going to be facing the Commanders in Spain. And I don't know. I think I'm okay with that, because the Spain game is going to take over one of our home games. So those home games that we have, you'll notice that we have 9 and not 8, and we only have 8 away games. That extra home game that we have, that's a Spain game. And since that's going to be one of our home games, I really would like to have our home games against AFC teams. So knowing that it's from what the rumor is that it's going to be an FC team that we're playing in Spain, I'm okay with that. If it's I heard the Bengals too, but I've heard more about the Commanders. If it's the Bengals, that's a bummer, because we really need to have them at home. You know, the other rumor was the Bills, and I could not imagine them doing a division game overseas. That doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, it would be cool for the people in Spain to see that, but I really don't want to have a Bills game in Spain. I want our home game against the Bills to be at home in Miami. And ideally, I want it to be in September. I want the Bills to complain more this year than a couple years ago when they had to play us in the heat. I want the Bills to suffer, at least in that game. But I don't know. I'm not sure what's going to happen there. But I would prefer, and hopefully it ends up being the Commanders. That would be okay with me. An NFC team that we get to deal with, sure. I'm good with that. I don't know. Yeah, I heard the Bengals too. I just kind of hope that it's not an AFC team that we play over there. I hope it's a inter-conference game. That would be way cooler instead of a conference, game. That would suck. I don't want to have to do that. I want to have our conference games at home that are supposed to be home games. That way we have a better chance to win it. Because all the issues that Miami has and all the things that always seem to happen to us, we are a much better team at home. We'll see. I'm also hoping that Spain game is not in the beginning of the year, but something tells me that Spain game is going to be in the beginning of the year, and it's going to take over one of our home games during the hot season. And that heat and that sun, that's at Hard Rock Stadium. That's a home team advantage for us. That's our 12th man. It's not the fans. It's the weather. We need that in September. We need our home games in September to be home games and not one in Spain. I think it's in Madrid. I think that's where they're doing it. We'll see what happens, though. I mean, that's going to happen the week after the draft. Like, that'll be almost immediately after the draft that we'll find out. And as soon as that happens, I'm going to be live streaming the first and second rounds of the draft. And I'm going to be doing probably a live stream for the schedule release. Definitely. The live stream for the schedule release, I want to see that so bad. That's fun. That's fun to pick apart. I almost enjoy that as much as the draft, because there's so much to look at for the schedule that people don't even think. And it's not just our team. I want to see the schedules for all the teams, especially the AFC East. When are we playing the Patriots? When are we playing the Jets? When are we playing the Bills? Are we playing the Bills at Highmark when it's cold out and snowy? Or are we playing the Bills at home a little earlier than that? Like, I want to know. After the ruckus that the Bills raised, after the ruckus that the Bills raised the last time they had to play us in September at our house, I don't know if it's going to happen again because the NFL loves the Bills and they hate the Dolphins. So we'll see how that works out. But we have that happening. Like I said, I'm going to stream those first two games of our first two rounds of the draft. Definitely the first round. I'm going to try really hard to do the second. It should work out, but I mean, I can't guarantee anything yet. It's a little far off. But definitely doing the first round. And I'm going to have... Yeah, take care, dude. And I'm going to have Curtis with Ace Per Head on my channel for the first time over on my channel. And I'm going to pick his brain about everything and let him rattle off some talking. Because he always has, me over on his channel. And I'm always taking up his voice, because he's the one letting us talk on his channel. This time, it'll be Curtis coming over to my channel and getting to spew. And I'm excited for that. Curtis is a really awesome dude. If you guys aren't subscribing to Ace Per Head over here on YouTube, make sure you go do that. Curtis is extremely knowledgeable. And he's a really good dude. I'm over there on his live stream every Monday night. We always have a good time. I reached out to him pretty quickly when I started doing this YouTube channel, and he was extremely helpful. Answered me almost immediately. Welcomed me in, invited me to his shows, and just all around great guy. Helped me out a bunch getting started in this. And I'm always going to owe him a favor for everything he's done for me. So I'm really excited to be able to have him as my first official guest on my channel. It's exciting. It's exciting. I'm happy. And let's see. I am at... Oh, I don't know. I really don't know what I'm at. It says 232 subscribers. So I was at, it hasn't been that long that I've been going, and I'm not like, I'm pretty happy with the 232 subscribers. Starting from nothing, going and doing this. I appreciate you guys for subscribing to me, those that have, and if you haven't, make sure you give a subscribe button. It's not going to hurt you none. It's easy. It's free. Throw a like down too. My goal is to be at 300 before the season starts. That's my first subscriber goal. I haven't really made one of those yet, so if you have a chance, help me get there. If you have questions or something that you want me to talk about online during a stream or during a video, email me. My email address is right up there. My Twitter is up there, or X, I'm sorry, and my Facebook account. So if you guys want to find me, you know where to find me. You can. I'm extremely available. I always answer comments. I answer questions. And I don't get mad when people disagree with me. There are those that are going to disagree, and that's okay. Never been a problem with me. I respect people's opinions as long as they can stay friendly. I'm good with it. Yeah. It's going to be a good time. We're going to have a little bit of action for the next few weeks, and that's exciting. I'm still extremely interested to see what Miami does, what the NFL does with this whole Tyreek Hill situation. And there's a lot of people I want to clarify. There's a lot of people with that situation that are still, after all the information came out, still considering it to be a domestic violence or a domestic abuse situation. Hang on 1 second, everybody. I'm not sure. Okay, I am back. Apologies. Okay. Yeah, don't really have too much more I wanted to cover. I'm just figured I'd get on here like every Friday. I'm kind of becoming a normal thing to do this on Friday nights, at least for a few minutes, and kind of chat about what I was thinking. But as far as the Tyreek Hill situation, I there's people already, claiming it's a domestic abuse or domestic violence, and it really isn't. It can't be that because Tyreek Hill or his wife would have had to have been arrested. So, once again, not defending Tyreek Hill, I know that he has anger issues. It's pretty obvious. That's part of it. But um, no charges were filed at that in that particular incident. I'm not really going to say much more about the situation than that. Like I said in the other video I made, so that is what it is. But what's going to happen because of it? That's the question. Does anybody have any, want to venture a guess as to what they think? I'm kind of thinking that it seems a little crazy to me. Maybe, I don't think that we're going to trade Tyreek Hill. I don't. If we do, I will not be surprised. But if I had to make a guess, gun to my head, what do I think is going to happen? I don't think he's going to get traded. I think that there's a slight chance the NFL could suggest a punishment, but if there's going to be a punishment, I think it's going to come from the Dolphins themselves. And if that happens, I would think maybe a one or two game suspension. But it probably wouldn't be labeled as a 2-game suspension because Tyreek Hill threw a laptop at the ground and grabbed his baby from his wife's arms. I don't think that's what it's going to be. I think it would be a 2-game suspension because Tyreek Hill is a detriment to the team and a distraction to success on the team. I think it would end up being something like that. But who knows? We'll see. If you're watching this right now, make sure you hit that like button. Even 1 or 2 extra likes, that's what makes it show up on other people's feeds. I know it sounds weird, but that's how it works. So that's the situation with Tyreek. Nobody knows what's going to happen. That's the crazy part. But and I'm sitting here thinking about this. I'm thinking, man, no wonder Calais Campbell left. Sure, it wasn't the only reason, but you think about Calais Campbell and what happened to him since he's been here. Especially in the beginning, the first game, the stuff with Tyreek in the beginning of before the first game started, like just, he Alan Poupart said, he doesn't need this. He had to have been thinking something like that by the end of the season. It's like, man, I don't need this. Poor guy. So I think that it would be really cool to see what happens if we plug Devon Achane in at the slot receiver position. I think that would be a huge thing. I think that would be really cool. Also, it would give Jalen Wright his time to shine, and I think Jalen Wright has the ability to shine more importantly than just giving him the opportunity. I think he would jump all over it. And if we continue to improve things, I know we still have Liam Eichenberg, but if that could change, I would be very, very optimistic about our offensive line. I'm already a lot more optimistic this year than I was last year. I'll tell you that right now. Everything as it is right now on our offensive line, I'm more optimistic than I was last year. But that does not mean that I think we're good enough at the offensive line position. I still think it needs some attention. But if we can just add one more guard, and rumor has it that Dalton Risner, yes, the guy that I've been beating the drum for all offseason, finally it looks like there's some rumors where he's connected through his agent, I think it's Rosenhaus, to Miami. There apparently is some negotiating going on, and I think that would be, I tell you what, if we ended up getting, oh man, I can't believe I'm about to say this. Yeah, I'm going to say it. And I'm not going to do it unless someone reminds me that I said it later, so you have to be watching this or watching it later to know that I said it, to hold me to it. But If we sign Dalton Risner before before if we sign Dalton Risner before the draft, I will shave my beard and mustache. I look like an infant when I shave my beard and my mustache. Seriously, I would get carded to buy a rated R movie. But I'll do it. I'll do it if we get Dalton Risner, and instantly, if we get Dalton Risner, instantly our offensive line, with the things we've done already with James Daniels and a couple other small things that I like a lot, if we do that and we draft a couple linemen in the draft, if we do those three things, Dalton Risner and a couple linemen in the draft, if we do those three things, you're looking at a top 15 offensive line in the league. I really believe that. I think Patrick Paul is going to be just fine. Just fine at tackle. He's going to handle lock down the left tackle position. I think he's going to be just fine. If anything, I think people who are doubting him are going to be extremely impressed with him this year. He's been working extremely hard. And like I said, I'm very confident in his ability to play that position. And I think that we're going to see a lot of growth from him this year. All respect due to Teron Armstead. I'm going to miss him a lot. But we're going to be okay at left tackle. And I think we're going to be okay at offensive line, especially if we sign Dalton Risner. And I will shave my beard if we sign the man that I have been beating the drum for all offseason. Actually, before that, I was asking for Dalton Risner during the season last year. I was like, man, we should have got him last offseason. I wasn't making YouTube videos during last offseason, except for right up near preseason. That's when I started really making videos. But since months before that, I was saying, man, we should be getting Dalton Risner. He's cheap. He's a massive improvement over what we have. I think I would say he's equivalent to 3 Liam Eichenbergs. Stack them up, man. Give me Dalton Risner, and you can take the 3 Liams. I'll discard all 3 of them. No matter what position you think Liam can play. Give me Dalton. Dalton Risner would be... The thing about Dalton Risner is he's a much better pass blocker than he is a run blocker. However, with the zone run offense that we have, where we run in zones and not holes, not gaps, we run zone. The way we run the ball, Dalton Risner would be much, much better. I think Dalton Risner is for PFF. I mean, PFF, take it with a grain of salt, but PFF ratings have Dalton Risner, I think, at an 84 pass block and 65 run block. However, if we put Dalton Risner in a zone run scheme, I think that run blocking rating is going to go up. So I like Dalton Risner a lot. I've been clamoring for him for a long time. If we end up with him, I'll be happy. I'll be stoked. Like I said, I will shave my beard. Someone's just got to remind me that I said it. Otherwise, I won't say a thing if we get him. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm encouraged with the offensive line. I'm really, really not liking that one spot at right guard with Liam Eichenberg. I am not liking that. Why am I not liking that as much? Well, I mean, first of all, that's to his blind side. He's a left-handed quarterback. So I really don't want Liam Eichenberg covering his backside. I don't want Liam anywhere near the blind side. And hopefully, even if Liam Eichenberg ends up starting for us, I can't believe I just said it. I don't want it. But if it does happen, hopefully the Dolphins are smart enough to know that they've got James Daniels and Patrick Paul on the left at guard and tackle. And then we've got Austin Jackson and Liam Eichenberg on the right. That's not good. So there might have to be some switcheroonies going on unless we can bolster that right side. And the best way to bolster the right side would be to give Austin Jackson somebody better at guard to play next to him. Because Liam Eichenberg ain't it. Like I said, the only way I'm okay with Liam Eichenberg being on this team is as an 8th or 9th offensive lineman. A swing player that we can put in when we just need a player to have a few plays off or a break, or when there's a dire need of him. That's it. I don't want him any other way. The Liam Eichenberg experiment's been given too long as it is, and we've seen no growth. That's the sad part. He was a second-round pick, right? Yeah, he was a second-round pick. We gave draft picks away to get him. Terrible. Got to do something there. Like I said, I don't think Tyreek's going anywhere. So knowing that, we don't need a new receiver. To say that we should we draft a receiver, you got to be freaking kidding me. Absolutely not. No way, no how. We have other needs in the draft. I've gone through them in multiple videos, multiple live streams. If you know, you know. If you don't, I don't know what to say. It's pretty obvious. Receiver isn't part of that need. Neither is running back, really. But I tell you what, I can understand people who say I would like to have Ashton Gianti more than I can understand people who want to get a running back or a tight end in the first round, or wanting to get a wide receiver or a tight end in the first round, or a quarterback. I don't think we need any of those things. I think those would all be mistakes. And for the record, I don't hate Shedeur Sanders from the video I last made. I don't hate him. I think he's going to be a good quarterback. But his ego and his attitude are not what Miami needs. They're not. He's not. He's not it. He could have success playing somewhere. I just don't want it to be with Miami. I don't think that we need him. I want to see how Tua does. I want to see Tua play this year. Like I've been saying for a long time, this is the year that Tua needs to come out and have a coming out party, and he needs to win a playoff game. And if he doesn't, I'm going to have to be done with Tua. I'm not going to give him as much time as we gave Tannehill. We gave Tannehill too much time. Too many opportunities. And I can't fathom, wasting another year beyond this year coming up, especially if Tua doesn't step up in those places that he needs to step up. Well, what are those places? It's really simple. Can he beat good teams? Can he step up and win a game for the team when he needs to step up and win a game? I know that he's done it occasionally, but it's not consistent enough. He doesn't have that mentality, and he needs to show that he can. He needs to have that. He needs to grow that. Like I said, I do like Tua. I think he is a more than capable quarterback. He just needs to put it all together. And I definitely feel like having a proper offensive line will help that in almost every single way. Like I said, if we have a top 15 offensive line, we're going to the playoffs. It's that simple. I'll say it right now. I'm not adding anything else to that statement. If we wind up with it at the end of the season, if you look at our offensive line rankings, if they're top 15 in the NFL, we are in the playoffs. It's that simple. If we have that top 15 offensive line, we are in the playoffs, and we have 11 plus wins. If we don't have a top 15 offensive line, we are not in the playoffs. We'll see what happens there. I'm excited. There's so much up in the air right now. It just kind of makes you wonder what the heck's going to happen here. No way to tell yet. But I'm ready to find out. After the draft and after the schedule release, we don't have much else to look forward to for a while. It's going to be kind of that dead zone. It is what it is. Ugh. So much in the air. And I think the last thing we needed really was all this Tyreek stuff. I'm sure it's the last thing his wife and his daughter needed too. Or him. Alright. I guess I better get off of here and get back to my existence as a father slash husband. I do appreciate any of you guys that have come in here and listened and liked and everything else. Make sure to throw a like down if you're coming in later on and watching this not when it's on the air and live. And I do appreciate all of you too. I will shave my beard completely if we sign Dalton Risner. Happily will shave my beard and mustache. And no, I won't shave my eyebrows. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. In all this mess and all this conundrum and all this adversity that we see every year as a Miami Dolphins fan, know that you guys deserve better. All of us deserve better as fans, and know that we've got to stay hopeful if we can.